wasn't Great Gain. Waukegan was first visited by Pierre Marquette in 1673 and is one of the oldest communities in Illinois. Crowds began to flock Waukegan because of the activities to do, places to attend, and especially the job opportunities in downtown Waukegan. Because of the crowding and rising population, the Waukegan Public School District 60 was astonishingly populated. Waukegan residents began a school system for their children in the mid-1800s. Waukegan was rated the 11th largest city in the metropolitan district surrounding the Chicago area. It had gained 10,774 in population and had increased a total of 27,715 according to statistics made by the Chicago Association. As Waukegan community grew, more schools were built. Men and women of all ages were attracted by the various offerings. The classes at Waukegan were designed to help their students and future generations to make better leisure times, improve themselves in which they could apply at home or while working, and also earning credits which will enable them to complete requirements for a high school diploma. The high school maintained good health, physical fitness, and required student participation in activities that created interest to develop and compete to their ability. Also, the classroom instructions were designed to develop good habits, attitudes, and understandings to proceed a happy, successful life after high school.
There was something always going on. If not a game, it was a penny carnival or a W club dress-up dance in the gym. Football, basketball, track, ROTC, gymnastics, and possibly any club that comes to mind. Back then until this day, we have involved ourselves in these activities. By all the success gained, it showed local fans in the community that Waukegan Township High School had good material and encouraged the community to participate, to get involved as much as the participants.
Well, what I think about the Waukegan High School is really, really ghetto, and it's really only Mexicans, Latinos, and black people mixed, and if they see, white, they wouldn't like that.
Like many people on the outside, they view it like, because this is so damaged, like the inside of it, the kids here, they don't know how to treat nothing with respect.
Waukegan High School's image took a negative turn and people's perception changed. Waukegan High School began to gain bad publicity in the early 1970s. Waukegan High School was making headlines with breaking articles. For instance, on October 30th, 1972, a newspaper article reported that Principal Orland Trapp had said Waukegan Township High School seemed relatively quiet due to the fact 30 students received a 7-day suspension, with suspension numbers soon to rise. Police and administration searched school grounds. News reporters classified this incident as a disturbance in the community. The article also stated how teachers had been hurt and a 14-year-old had been found as a lead suspect in the laceration of an African-American student's skull. 100 African-American students congregated in a Waukegan High School classroom after the altercation had taken place in protest of what had occurred. This front-page hitter was not any good for Waukegan High School's image. Later in 1974, WHS was back on the map, this time for a case in which students were found abusing illegal substances such as marijuana. It was a sign of the times. The 1970s was the era of the hippies, and racial issues were left behind after the civil rights movement. People were blind to the idea of these things going on nationally. They could have been occurring at any other school, but Waukegan got the bad publicity. During the 1970s, huge budget cuts occurred, and Waukegan High School lost more than $375,000, causing the learning system to be diluted. When the budget cuts occurred, they occurred in every area, but Waukegan really took a hit. Discipline issues also sparked up in Waukegan. There seemed to be a lacking amount of discipline at the Waukegan High School. This became a school board issue but was never resolved. Waukegan High School had gone a drastic change, going from being a trusted school in the community to people starting to doubt and overanalyze Waukegan High School's potential. Waukegan's foul reputation has lingered till present day. Although things began to look up, starting at about the 1980s, minorities started to move into our city and began a trend of diversity. In Waukegan, Asians, Middle Easterns, African American, and Hispanics began to populate the city because of the national recession. Waukegan was one of the many cities hit. Factory jobs were lost, and the upper-class families fled Waukegan, which created room for minorities to move in. Waukegan was going through a cultural shock. All these new cultures brought ideas to the high school, but yet no one was seeing the positive. Everyone was still focusing on the negative. Waukegan was out to prove there was positives, not only what the headlines posted. By the 1990s, WHS was changing its perception once again, looking to the positive, because as WHS says, always forward, never backwards.
I think a lot of times we get a bad rap. People see the bad things, which there are bad things, gang problems, drugs, fights, and they kind of think all of Waukegan High School is that way. And they don't see the positive things a lot of times. We don't tout things like the Schuler program, things like the College Studies program, JROTC. So there are a lot of good things going on in Waukegan that they're kind of colored over by some of the bad things, a few bad things that happen.
In 1993, Waukegan High School's reputation was tested. Waukegan students were forced to walk through metal detectors at a high school, while other fans from other schools didn't have to. Many Waukegan students said they believed the detectors were set up for them because of their school's reputation. Waukegan High School's perception has evolved throughout history, from the good of the 1900s to the rough times of the 1970s. In recent years, Waukegan High School has taken disciplinary actions towards school violence. Instead of 3 strikes, you're out, Waukegan students are allowed 2 strikes regarding fighting and gang activity. This rule was meant to create a safer environment at school. Dr. Hamlin states, "We are more rigorous about enforcements. One thing for sure is the constant desire for improvement at Waukegan High School. With economic restrictions, teachers show common flexibility and innovation in upgrading their learning experience. Waukegan High School provides not only a first-class program for students with various disabilities, it also offers an advantage placement program. In 2009, Waukegan Public Schools were more optimistic about its budget. Districts could see about $130 in additional state funding per student. Typically, districts receive $50 to $70 in increase per student each year. Education has become very rigorous in Waukegan High. The National Honor Society program is very well known in our school. It began in 1936. It traditionally recognizes the achievement of its outstanding students. Membership in NHS is highly selective, limited to those students who exhibit the 4 qualities, which are scholarship, leadership, service, and character. Waukegan High Schools have very talented people with a bright future. In 1989, Waukegan High School have 5 valedictorians. They all score A's in their core classes all 4 years, said Principal Kimberly Zupek. Some of that year's graduation class are attending Harvard, Northwestern University, and Marquette University.
Waukegan test scores are improving through a new computerized program established in 2008 called map testing, which will enable a teacher to see the achievements and needs of a student. In 2009, Stanford welcomed 3 Waukegan seniors, more than any Illinois high school. Thanks to the Schuler Family Foundation, these students were able to prepare for college through guidance, enrichment activities, and scholarships given. Schuler has benefited Waukegan High in the upbringing of more opportunities for college searches. It has also been able to encourage the school to have a different variety of AP courses. Schuler has helped get their scholars into the top colleges in the country. Not only is education valued in Waukegan High, but sports are just as important. Lots of unrecognized sports are now beginning to grow from many students that partake in these after-school activities. Sports like badminton, tennis, golf, and swimming have recently gained tremendous recognition. Other sports, such as cross-country, track, soccer, and ROTC drill team, have made it to major divisions of the IHSA. The Bulldogs basketball team made the most impact in the school and our community. The team made state 2 years in a row. In the games, great pride is shown by the fans. Students, parents, faculty, and alumni come together to support them. Waukegan High School has a lot of history, both good and bad. People tend to focus on the negative instead of the positive attributions that the high school has to offer. From the early days, where the high school was praised by the community, to the struggles in the 70s, Waukegan has surpassed all and will continue to save its name and show its true colors.